Can you imagine living in a land where your identity becomes a reason for conflict? Our story begins in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when the land known as Palestine was under the British Mandate. This period marked the rise of two powerful sentiments: Jewish and Arab nationalism. Both groups, rooted deeply in their identities, were vying for the same land. This tension was further amplified by a seminal moment in history, the Balfour Declaration of 1917. This British policy statement expressed support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. However, it also emphasized that nothing should prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities. This dual commitment, while seemingly balanced on paper, ignited a conflict of national identities on the ground. And so the seeds of discord were sown, the stage was thus set, the actors in place, for a conflict that would ripple through the decades. How would you react if your homeland was suddenly declared someone else's country? This question echoes in the hearts of Palestinians since the mid-20th century. In the aftermath of World War II, the United Nations proposed a partition plan in 1947. This plan aimed to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. The Jewish Agency for Palestine accepted this plan, but the Arab leaders and the Palestinian Arabs did not. The year 1948 marked a significant turning point. The State of Israel was declared, triggering a war involving neighboring Arab states. The Israelis emerged victorious, expanding their territory beyond the UN partition plan. This period also witnessed a massive displacement of Palestinians, termed as the Nakba, or catastrophe. Approximately 700,000 Palestinians were expelled from their homes or fled the conflict. With the birth of a new nation came the birth of new strife. The establishment of Israel set the stage for decades of tension and conflict that persists to this day. What happens when peace becomes a distant dream, replaced by the constant threat of war? As the echoes of conflict reverberated through the Middle East, major wars and intifadas became the unfortunate milestones of the Israeli-Palestinian struggle. Let's take a moment to consider the Six-Day War of 1967. It was a pivotal conflict that reshaped the geopolitical landscape, with Israel seizing the Gaza Strip, the Sinai Peninsula, the West Bank, and the Golan Heights. Fast forward to the late 20th century and we witness the eruption of two intifadas. The first intifada, a grassroots uprising against Israeli occupation, began in 1987. The second intifada, or Al-Aqsa Intifada, erupted in 2000, marked by suicide bombings and military operations. These events, entrenched in the annals of this conflict, have left indelible marks on the region. In a land steeped in history, the present was marred by violence and unrest. Are walls and restrictions the answer to a conflict rooted in identity and belonging? The present-day scenario paints a complex picture as we grapple with the reality of an enduring conflict. The Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories continues, casting a long shadow over the region. This occupation has seen the rise of a formidable security wall, a concrete symbol of division that stands tall and foreboding. It's not merely a physical barrier, but a psychological one too, shaping perceptions and deepening the divide between these communities. Adding to this, the restrictions on Palestinian freedom of movement have further intensified the sense of confinement. The ability to move freely, a fundamental human right, is curbed, exacerbating tensions and fostering a sense of despair. The walls, both metaphorical and physical, restrict more than just movement. They confine dreams, aspirations, and the promise of a peaceful future. The daily reality for many is a life defined by conflict. Hamas, a Sunni Islamic fundamentalist, militant, and nationalist Palestinian organization, launched a new attack on Israel on Saturday, October 7, 2023. In early morning, Hamas began firing thousands of rockets, striking targets as far away as Tel Aviv and the outskirts of Jerusalem. Israel has since declared war on Hamas and promises a long, brutal war. Can there ever be a resolution to a conflict that seems to know no end? In the face of such a question, the world has seen numerous attempts to find peace. The Oslo Accords in the 90s marked a significant step towards reconciliation, aiming to establish a framework for future negotiations. Yet, the path to peace proved more challenging than anticipated. Fast forward to the more recent Trump peace plan. It offered a different approach, yet it too faced its share of criticisms and challenges. The struggle for a two-state solution, a peaceful coexistence of both Israel and Palestine, remains fraught with hurdles. These hurdles include disputes over territory, security concerns, and deep-seated mistrust. Each peace process, each attempt at resolution reveals the complexity of the issue at hand. Yet despite the hurdles, the search for peace continues, because in the end, peace is worth striving for. In the quest for peace, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains one of the world's most enduring and complex.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any content.